All right.
Hey.
Peace and love, family. Welcome back to another episode of Candid Conversation. I am King George, aka Mr. Knowledge is Power. And if you're wondering who this beautiful lady is to my left, to your right, this is the beautiful, the glorious, my one and only
Nicole. Thank you, honey. Thank you.
There it is.
Oh, I feel a little rusty. How do you feel?
I feel good.
You feel good? I feel
I
great.
hate you feel that
But
way.
I feel a little rusty.
Well, sometimes it be that way. But we are in the building.
Yes. Hey, Miss Ash, District 7.
Yeah.
School board.
How you doing? Come on in.
How you
It's
doing?
been a little minute, but we're back.
Yes.
We didn't know we was gonna make it back. We had a lot going on, but well, we made it back sooner than we thought because the plate is full.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
full, but we're here.
Exciting in exciting ways.
Yeah.
Yes. All
So
right.
yeah, we got a lot to dig into, a lot to unpack.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, hang in there with us.
Yeah. Yep. Hanging there with us.
Yeah.
So, usually, I don't remember how we started off with the quote or something empowering.
Yeah. So I'll start. We can start with something empowering real quick.
Okay.
Yeah. Just give me 1 minute while I.
How y'all doing out there this evening? I am so excited. The spring is here, and we're on our way to the summer.
Right.
Anybody else fan of warm weather? I know I am. I love it.
I'm a little bit. I can do the spring, but not the summer. I'm not ready for that humidity. I'm not ready at all.
Okay.
But yeah, I can definitely do the spring.
Beautiful, the sun and all that good stuff.
Yeah, it's been nice. It's been nice. It's starting to get a little hot, but for the most part, it's been good.
Yes, and I just want to say while George is finding a quote for us, thank you so much to everyone who has joined Candid Conversation. I think we're at 47 group members, which is amazing. We do not despise small beginnings at all. Each and every one of you are absolutely amazing. And I hope that you're finding the content or the things that we've been sharing, even though we haven't been on the camera, helpful or something that you can share with someone else.
Right. Mm-hmm. And a special shout out to our day ones who've been hanging in there.
Yes. We
really appreciate y'all.
Yes,
hanging
we
in there
love
with
you
us.
all so much. Thank you so much for your support. Yep.
We appreciate it.
Mm-hmm.
So let's see. Our quote for today is from Dr. King. Dr. King. So I'll do another one.
Okay.
It says, obstacles don't have to stop you. If you run into a wall, don't turn around and give up. Figure out how to climb it, go through it, or work around it.
That's right.
That is from our brother, Michael Jordan.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Interesting that you brought up Michael Jordan.
Is that right?
Very good. Yes. Very nice.
Speaking of, what y'all see right here is a Jordan baseball jersey.
Yes.
For those that know, he played baseball for 1 year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So welcome back, and we got the wave. Hey.
Yeah. We're glad to see y'all in the building.
Yeah.
Good to be here.
Okay.
Good to be back.
So a lot has transpired.
It's been a lot.
I can't even remember when we did our last podcast, but a lot has transpired. We've been to Los Angeles. Oh, I've been to Los Angeles.
Yes.
Right. Went to Los Angeles with Lakeitha Ash, Just Mine Designs. Right. Yes.
She put it down again and represented for Columbus.
Experience. Yes. Yeah. And then from there, we just a lot going on, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Still a lot going on, but again, we're back.
Yeah. And a lot because it's election season.
Right.
It's election season. So we have truly been out in the community listening to the candidates and listening to what's going on and what people have to say and how they feel. And
Right.
The local newspaper here, they have hosted at least 3 or 4 forums.
Yep. Shout out to the Echo Latina newspaper.
Yes, for hosting their forums and allowing us to hear from our candidates. Also, local Miss Teresa, no, I can't, I don't want to mess up her last name.
Elamine.
Yes, she's also hosted some events to highlight our candidates that are running for office. And so, who else?
Who else
has hosted events? I know there's some coming up that we're going to talk about, but
yeah, pretty much. Well, the ones that we've been to is Miss Teresa Elamine and Echo Latina newspaper. Those are the ones that that I can remember right offhand. Yeah.
Okay. Awesome.
Yeah, we've been to recently.
Okay.
So yeah.
And met some new people that we otherwise wouldn't have been able to meet had we not attended those forums. And so, and we hosted one. We hosted one for
that's right, Lakeitha and Nia. Yeah, they're both running for office.
Little conversation there, yes.
Yeah, so make sure y'all support. If you are in those districts, please get out and support our own.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
And we like to shout out As He Leads.
Right.
All your beauty, barber, supply needs. Go in there and get everything you need As He Leads. And then too, Mr. Ash, if you need some work done as far as he does a lot.
They're graphic designers. Yes.
So if you need that done, please reach out to the Ashes. They are a one-stop shop. You can get it all.
Yes, and very professional and just very prompt about service and all of that. Now, honey, I'm gonna tell you what I seen today. So their last name, I think it is ASHE.
Right.
Okay. If you break that up, you get As, He, and then Leads. So y'all gonna have to tell me. Y'all gonna have to tell us, right, if that's intentional.
I believe it was.
Yeah, I saw that today. Okay. And so I was like, yeah, you're gonna have to tell us if that's intentional. So when you put it together, you get Ash, but when you separate it, it's As He.
Okay.
Yeah, Leads. And I thought that was cute.
Yeah.
And of course, while we were in Los Angeles, we were introduced to their name as something else. Ashe. It's supposed to have what do you call it?
Hyphen?
Yes, over the E. So it's actually maybe pronounced a little bit different than what we call it here in the country. Lakeitha, you're gonna have to tell us.
Yeah. And then too, make sure if y'all can hear us, let us know if y'all can hear us.
Yes, please.
Good, because again, we are. It's been a little minute, so we want to make sure the volume is good.
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah.
Where do you want to start today? Like, what do you want to talk about? I really just want to kind of get in the groove of things and talk a little bit, and then get back on our structure.
So let's talk about this election season.
Okay.
This election. Okay. Yeah. I feel like, everybody is trying to get out and do their part as far, those that are running, trying to get out and make sure that their name is out there and make sure everybody knows, what they stand for, what they represent, and how they're going to serve the community. So, it's a lot going on, and people who may not know the candidates, this is a great opportunity, for them to get to know the candidates, especially with these forums or these, is it called a forum?
Yes.
These forums they've been having. I think, all of them went well.
Right.
I think all of them went well. I just wish the community could have asked questions.
Right.
So, they didn't allow.
Yeah, it might get out of hand had they allowed a lot of people.
I don't know, because they had a moderator
to ask questions. Well, they were very moderate too. They're very sweet natured, the young lady and both of them. So I'm not sure. Sometimes things can get out of hand. Now, what I would say is that I thought some of the questions needed to come from people who had the background to ask them. So some of the questions I thought were superficial, and just the cliche questions, and So I would have loved to see some real, like factual, like nitty gritty, questions to ask some of the candidates. Just to really get some clear understanding on exactly where they stand and what they plan to bring to the position.
Yeah, and I feel like a lot of the candidates, for the most part, were transparent about what they're going to bring to the table and what they're going to do when they get in office, or the ones who've already been in office, how they plan to improve, or if they can.
Honey.
Some of them like they don't need to improve, but there's no room to improve.
Right. I helped today. I was floored when I heard there was, we're doing everything right.
Well,
there's no need to improve. I was like, wow.
Hey, and just being honest.
Well, okay.
Like Future said.
And that's wonderful, but everyone has room for improvement. We all have room for improvement.
I agree.
This world is ever evolving. And so we can't get stuck in a mindset that, if it's not broke, don't fix it,
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
We wouldn't have the things we have today. We wouldn't be where we are in some areas today.
Right.
If people thought like that,
I agree.
Help today.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I feel like, they were just being transparent, so.
Yeah, and that's what we need.
Right.
That's what we need. Now, I'm going to say, just coming from an academic background, I'm really big on facts.
Okay.
I'm big on statistics.
Mm-hmm.
And so some of the forums, I felt the answers were a lot of fluff.
I mean, so I agree, but when it comes to politics, that's what you're going to get for some candidates, that they're going to play that role, and that's what you're going to get, because they have to say the right things. The ones who are playing that game, they got to say the right things to get those people to vote for them. So I expect that, and then you have those who are going to shoot straight from the hip. They're not going to play.
Right.
They're not going to give you the fluff. They're not going to sugarcoat it. They're going to tell you exactly how they feel.
Right.
And so to me, that's what's needed. Those that are going to just
and
so give it to you straight.
I think that's where I'm coming from as a person. Like, as we evolve, and we know about critical thinking, and because a lot of us, when you think about the church, we grew up in a church. We don't think about nothing they tell us. We just believe, and we go in there and we have a good time and we leave. At some point, it's like, oh, wait a minute, there's this epiphany. So just like I feel like there's been an epiphany in the church, and people are just like having this woke mindset as it regards to, it's not enough to go into church and jump up and down and hoop and holler and go home. You need more. So as in politics, right? It's not enough for people to be able to, when you tell me that you've been in law enforcement for 30 years, or you've been in some form of law enforcement for 30 years, but you don't tell me exactly, specifically what you contributed to law enforcement to make Columbus, Georgia a better place, I'm lost. But you want to get in a position and you're going to make it better. That's not registering for me. And those are the type of examples that I'm talking about. When somebody says they've been here all their life, and they're doing things in the community, what? If the people are complaining and they're saying, this is still the same, the rate of this is the same, the rate of that is the same, what exactly have you contributed to that's going to be any different from you sitting in the position or the chair? So those are the things that, I want to know specifics about when I listen to people and they talk in their forums.
I agree, and especially when it comes to our community, it's time out for politics as usual. It's time out for grandstanding. Yeah, we don't have no more time for that. The situation in our community is a dire, serious situation. Poverty, crime, and that's at the forefront. A lot of the questions were about poverty and crime, and how what's their solution going to be, and how they're going to fix it. Even they asked Lakeitha and Miss Frey. They asked them the same question. Right. And they're on the school board. So people are concerned about crime, poverty, and it affects children at school. It affects them too.
Yeah.
It affects everybody.
Mhm.
But because the crime, in Columbus makes businesses not want to come here. It makes people move away. It makes kids not want to come here when they graduate and move away.
Mhm.
So a lot of what's happening is affecting everybody in some shape, form, or fashion.
Right. And so for the school board, for me, it was, the retention and the recruiting of teachers.
Mhm.
Retention is hard, and it's hard to recruit teachers. They're trying to find teachers. So my number one question was, you already know,
Right.
where and how did the superintendent get a raise, and you can't keep teachers? You can't keep them. You can't pull them in fast enough to replace them. So what warranted a raise? Who voted on that? Who supported that when you cannot keep teachers, when teachers are having to get second jobs because they don't make enough, and they spend most of their day in a school setting Monday through Friday, on
Right.
top of whatever they have to take home in the evenings or on the weekends. Now, the veteran teachers, they have learned how to leave it there.
Yeah.
But your new babies and, some teachers, they're not. So I was confused. How do we give somebody that shows up and sits in the office, makes decisions, photo ops,
Yeah.
not in the trenches, a raise, but our teachers are not getting a raise. On top of the fact that at the last school board meeting I listened to,
Mhm.
they were kind of in debate about, this school is on the list and they were promised this amount of money.
Yeah.
Well, these teachers work hard too, and they need money. So we don't have enough money to spread out to all of these teachers who are working hard, but we have money for a raise.
Superintendent. Yeah.
So,
But that's it's unfortunate and it's sad. Teachers are so overlooked and overworked and underpaid,
mhm,
and
mhm.
they expect these schools to be up to par.
Right,
You can't do it. It's hard to do it.
right.
Especially when you're in those schools that are failing
Mhm.
and you're dealing with discipline we talk about this all the time. You're dealing with
Yes.
discipline all day,
Mhm.
and you get a little bit of it. You might be able to get a little bit
A
of
little
teaching.
bit in there. Yes. Let something
for the
go
most part-
wrong, and then you gotta, reel everybody
Yeah.
back in and structure everything and try to, it's a lot.
Right.
And so that part for me is like, when did they vote on this? Do the school board members vote on raises for the superintendent?
Yeah.
Did they listen to their constituents? Is that what, teachers are constituents too? I don't believe they really have a say because they probably are, restricted as employees. But when you are a school board member, you also represent those teachers in your district. And I'm a little bit confused as to how you come to that conclusion, but you sit in a meeting before the people and fight over, a few $1,000s that is going to spread thin, or you can't spread amongst all of your teachers. I'm confused.
Well, listen, like Mr. Bell said, we're gonna see. We're gonna see what happens.
Ooh, yes.
We're gonna see
yes,
what happens. But
yes.
what I wanted to say, I don't know, did you read that article about the K through 2?
I didn't get a chance to see it, but yeah.
So what I read is, and what they said is, so the kids are gonna be able to, they're gonna accommodate the kids as far as transportation.
Okay.
And they're gonna be able to ride to school with their siblings. So they fixed that part.
Interesting.
Yeah, so I thought the same thing. That was
So
interesting.
they're gonna ride to school and get dropped off wherever
Right.
they need to. Okay.
Right.
Okay.
So yeah, they're gonna accommodate those students and their siblings, so they don't have to be all over the place.
Mhm.
And so yeah, I was surprised that they fixed it, but yeah, they fixed it.
Right. And so with that, I think, it takes research
Mhm.
to come to the conclusion that this is the course of action to take.
Right.
And I think it's a great course of action. However, I do believe that it could have been done in the facilities where the students attend school.
So I thought about that, and I'm not so sure now
I'm listening.
because the classrooms are overcrowded, and those students are not going to get the attention that they need.
Mhm.
And, we talked about discipline and all of those other factors. So I believe that, people don't like it, but I think it's necessary because and there's other things that I feel like was a reason that they did this. But to me, it makes sense for them to do it because these students wouldn't get this help otherwise. And it'll help those failing schools, I feel like. But for me, it'll help those students who wouldn't be able to get that attention.
Okay.
Otherwise.
So.
And they need teachers. I read that too. They need teachers really bad.
What, for this new situation?
Yeah.
Exactly.
They haven't filled all these positions yet, so
exactly.
They still need teachers. But let me read. I want to read it.
Okay. And while you do that,
part of the article.
While you do that, you find
Go
it.
ahead.
I'm just going to say that I see remediation going on in the school. I see hallways that are set up amongst grade levels that are broken down by needs within that hallway. It can be done. It can be done.
Now,
so
say that one more time.
So I'm saying what I see in one school building, and it's mainly it's the leadership. I see remediation happening. Required remediation. It don't matter what classroom you're supposed to be in. You're traveling this way until you have been dismissed from that remediation. I see hallways that are, targeted per grade level and also structured by needs. So if you have PES students and if you have advanced students, they're rotating per that need.
So what are PES students?
Program for exceptional students.
Oh, okay. I didn't try to put you on the spot, but I want the
and
viewers to know, and I also want to know what that means.
Yes, that's the new term instead of special ed.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Okay. So I'm gonna read this article real quick. So it says, council members invited Muskogee County Superintendent Dr. David Lewis to provide an update on the new K-2 initiative that intends to accelerate students to standard by housing the qualifying students at Brewer Elementary. This would move the other students to the supporting schools, Dorothy Heights, MLK, J.D. Davis, in the 2024 school year, 2024-2025 school year. During the meeting, Dr. Lewis gave an overview of the initiative and provided information regarding the hiring and enrollment process along with transportation. Quote, "We have almost all the teachers with us now. I think we're down to about 2 or 3 teaching positions still vacant. We're interviewing daily to identify the very best and highly qualified teachers for the program." Okay, so they almost got them filled. Lewis explained that no teachers have lost their jobs. Educators instead have been placed in different schools. With the relocation of students, Lewis told us about the transportation system for the new school year. Lewis says, and I quote, "As the students are identified, regardless of which school in one of the 4 schools they go to, siblings will be able to ride on the same bus. As an example, if one is attending MLK and the other one is attending Brewer, the students are able to ride to and from school on the same bus. As the new school year approaches," Lewis said, "we're in the process right now of inviting all of our pre-K facilities to go through a universal screening process that will identify which students should be targeted for going in for qualifying for the acceleration program. So currently 18 pre-K programs have been identified to serve the 4 schools. The school district also sets up dates to conduct screenings while students are still in school and over the summer." So There you go.
Now, mind you, I think it's a great initiative.
Okay.
I think it's a great initiative. However, I think to be able to sustain it, I think that you can do that within the buildings that the students are in. You can structure the schools to fit the needs of what's there. It's just not being done. So they have MTSS, which is a multi-tiered support system, tier 1, tier 2, and tier 3. However, I know that I was assigned some students, tier 2 or tier whatever. By the time you make it through the day, you're not really meeting with those students and getting, whatever you're supposed to do with them at all.
Okay. So does that negatively impact the students?
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But you just said that they could do the same initiative.
If they structured it, yes. If they structured it, they gotta put time. They gotta structure it and put it in there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe they might go back to that after the school year, because I know this is going to be a test run to see.
Yeah, because imagine this bus situation. We
Yeah.
barely have buses now.
I was just about to say that. But
and so you got, I don't know how, but I'm sure it's possible, but drop this baby off and drop this baby off, and yeah, it's going to be interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
We're
going to be
see
interesting.
how it unfolds, but
yeah.
But yeah. So
Mm-hmm.
do we want to
And then also, I think, just, I don't want to keep harping on that, but the fact that, yes, they're starting at the elementary age. We have middle school students who are not where they need to be, and we definitely have high school students who are not where they need to be. And so I get starting with elementary school, and like this is just like a reset, and then maybe the populations of students after this is going to be okay, but we still have a lot of years of students that's going to be transitioning through the education system who are slipping through the cracks.
Yeah, you're gonna have those that's gonna slip through the cracks. But that's where the parents come in. Like parents, we talk about the parents have a job to do too. So the parents got to get on their job, but we already know the breakdown of the family unit or the household, which again contributes to the issues that the teachers are having to deal with in the school system. So yeah, it's an uphill battle, but we're gonna see how things unfold.
Yeah.
And I was about to say, another thing we attended was the VFAW. Was it a pop up or was it a networking?
So it was an expo, Spiritual Health and Wealth Expo.
Okay.
Facilitated by Mrs. Alicia Trailer. Yeah, she's a staple of the community. Very beautiful lady.
Yeah.
Inside and out. And it was very nice.
It was. It was. So shout out to everybody who showed up.
Yeah.
I learned a lot about dementia. If y'all don't know how serious dementia is, it is a serious disease. And I was just grilling the dude because I wanted to know everything. You know what I mean? I kind of knew some stuff that was on the surface, but he gave me the in-depth education, real quick education on dementia and how it affects people, and how if your parents had it, 9 times out of 10 you might have it. But then he said there was some things you could do to possibly stop it or lessen the risk of having it, like exercise, healthy eating, keeping your mind sharp, reading, learning stuff, staying inquisitive. So there's some things you can do, to offset it. But it's like I said, it's a serious situation. And so on one of our shows, we're gonna do a deep dive on dementia and Alzheimer's, because it really affects a lot of people's families. You know what I mean?
Right.
And then too, he was telling me certain things that you have to look for. It doesn't really start until, I think he said, you're in your 60s.
Wow.
But you can develop it at an early age from brain trauma, head trauma. You can develop it that way. So it doesn't necessarily have to be, in your DNA or handed down. It's something that you could call, like he was saying about a lot of football players who have head trauma all the time.
Right.
Now they don't always end up with dementia, but they do have severe problems as they get older from all of that head trauma.
Right.
So yeah.
They always say football, but they leave out the boxing people.
That too, yeah.
I'm telling you.
That too. When you're taking blows to the head unnecessarily.
I don't know how.
Hey.
That is like archaic, like what's on my movie Gladiator. Yeah, sitting out there with the bread, watching somebody just get beat up. I just don't even understand at all.
Yeah, but I mean, hey. One thing I have learned is, as they did statistics, they were saying people love entertainment above everything else. Entertainment. So that's why. No
matter what kind.
Yeah. That's why it's so lucrative. And
love
popular. Entertainment
and drama and all kind of foolery. Yes. Yeah.
So. Yeah, so we got to stop by the expo. We did a yard sale. Shout out again to Miss Teresa Elamine for letting us be a part of that yard sale.
Now, interesting. I relocated here in 2017, and so I've always been like a part of the community as far as attending school board meetings and different things. And so I was like, way back here in the audience, like, wow, with this lady, because she would just let them have it straight up with no chaser.
So you remember her from?
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay.
I mean, to be up close and personal with her now, to meet her. How many years is this later? 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24.
5, 6.
Yeah, 5, 6 years later is like interesting. However, I have been in the atmospheres where she gives it straight.
She don't mess around with
right? And so she is, I don't even know what word to use to describe her at this moment, but she is definitely, been instrumental in a lot of changes and upgrades here in Columbus, Georgia. And just the fact that, she gets around in her little car. She gets around in her little situation, her walker.
Yeah.
She is where she wants to be, when she wants to be.
Yeah, she gonna.
And she is a voice to be reckoned with.
And that shows you how passionate she is, because through the pain, she was telling us how much pain she's in, and she still shows up to make sure her voice is heard.
Yes.
So what's our excuse? You know what I mean? If we don't make it, but she's from that demographic of people from a certain time, who
that got us where we are today.
Exactly.
If it left up to our generation and then those generations that's coming after us, I'm not sure we would make it. I'm not sure.
But we were born in a certain time. We were supposed to be born in to deal with what we can deal with, because we're all cut from a different cloth. You know what I mean? We couldn't have been born in slavery times, because I know they would have beat me to death.
I would have been dead. Listen, I would have been dead.
I ain't picking no cotton, but and I would have ran away. I would have been right with Harriet. Yeah, I would have ran away, but
quick, fast, in a hurry. Oh my goodness!
But you would have been in the house, so
you probably would have been in the house. Talk about me. You probably would have been in the house. Man. Yes, not me.
But so they got a different type of resilience than we.
Yeah.
than we do.
Yes.
But so
and it takes a type of resilience to deal with them too. The demographic of folk. Yes.
Yeah.
It take a demographic. It take a resilience.
Yes.
For sure. Yeah.
Yes. So
I think we picked up on that with our up close and personal encounter.
Yeah. It takes a certain type of patience, but
and grace.
Yeah.
Yes.
But we're thankful, because we get the knowledge, we get the history, up close and personal. You know what I mean? Like, and somebody who actually was around. She was a part of SNCC. She was in those circles with Dr. King and Andrew Young, and a part of the civil rights movement. So this is I don't think I ever would have thought I would have met somebody up close and personal who's actually in the trenches.
Right.
So
and don't mind being in the trenches either.
Not at all. It's not a lot of people still around that still have their foot on the gas.
Right. Literally on the gas and on the net and everything. Yeah.
So we're thankful and appreciative.
Yeah.
That
it's an
Ms.
amazing
Teresa Elamine is still around.
Experience. To experience her. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's amazing.
Yeah. So we went to those 2 events. And I think that was it.
No, we also went to Dr. Patrick Shanta.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
For the creative writing contest.
That's right.
Absolutely.
We got there a little late, but we did show up, and it was an amazing event.
Yes. Yeah. So I guess I had heard about it maybe, but once in the education, you get the emails, and so had her come to our classroom some years ago, maybe a year ago. And so she talked to the students from such a genuine and passionate place about why she started this creative writing contest. And I was just sold ever since. And then the students, it's an opportunity from all walks of life for them to participate and express their creativity. And then they all get something. They all get a, little swag bag and all that good stuff. And, there's winners from each grade level. I love the heart of what she's doing as it regards that. And so it was, we had a lot of stuff stacked up on that Saturday, but I was glad we did, get a chance to go and say hello, but we kind of missed the festivities.
Yeah. And like you said, it's definitely needed. And it will do these kids a great, great, great honor to be a part of this program, because this is something they can carry with them their whole lives. You know what I mean? So I wish something like that was around, when I was a kid.
Right. And so when I think about her, I think about this concept of village, right? We all have our purpose and our gifts that we contribute to this earth. And so with that creative writing, like, she is facilitating that part of the village for moms and dads and families, where students can just exercise that part of them. Yeah. And I love that. Yeah. And that's how we get in where we fit in, everybody is not the same, but we definitely have something positive to empower and to contribute to our community.
Right, right. Everybody has something to give, something, like you said, to contribute. Yeah. So and then too, Oxbow Meadows, y'all. If listen, you have never been to Oxbow Meadows, it's a hidden gem in Columbus. Yeah. On South Lumpkin Road. Put a thumbs up in the chat if you know what I'm talking about. Yes. Oxbow Meadows, I can't remember what the address is, but it's directly across the street from the Infantry Museum, by the way, which is where the writing contest was at. The Infantry Museum. But Oxbow Meadows is a wildlife and environmental program that CSU, I guess it's an extension of CSU. But they got gators. They got gators in there. Exotic snakes, boa constrictors, big tortoises. They got they're beekeepers. They got a little bit of everything in there. And all of these animals pretty much are native to Georgia, except I don't think the boa constrictors are. Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't think they're the pythons either. They're not native to Georgia, but if you want to go and see animals up close that you haven't seen, I would definitely recommend.
And it's beautiful and serene and peaceful back there.
Right. And you can take the kids. They got a walking trail. They got a dog park.
Yeah. And it's just like, really, it's back there. And does everybody know? Does everybody know? Right. And, the smells, there was no major, when you go to the zoo, you might smell something here and there.
But it was enclosed.
It was very clean.
Yeah, it was enclosed, so you wouldn't smell anything. And they got plenty for the kids. So if you wanted something to do for the summer for the kids, you can take the kids there. I think they do birthday parties there. Right. Yeah, so, it's something for everybody to do. But Oxbow Meadows, South Lumpkin Road, not going towards Victory Drive, but the opposite way. At the end of South Lumpkin Road, on the right-hand side, Oxbow Meadows. Y'all go check it out. Yeah.
So, speaking of, I'm going to vote tomorrow morning. Put a thumbs up in the chat if you've already voted, if you're excited about voting. I know some people have, and they're posting their pictures and all of that good stuff. And I listened to what I was listening to Sarah Jakes talk about is how people really focus on the large elections, like the presidency. Yeah. However, it is these, small elections that people don't pay attention to that really contribute to the change, right? Yeah. The president really can't do anything without the local governments and all that good stuff. You putting in place the people you need to support you to make it up there. So it's so important that we vote, and that we vote not because it's a popularity contest, not because, this person is my friend or they're a part of my sorority or organization, but because they truly can bring change and represent us well in the office. I am an advocate for us,
We
by
are.
us. I'm big on that.
We are.
First and always.
Because our community is not going to change. Like we keep saying it, but it's literally not going to change until we change it. Like it's nothing somebody else can do for us.
Right.
And people keep, I don't want to get into that, but
okay.
Yeah, until we change it, it's not going to change. So whether it be school system in our community, whether it be businesses in our community, until we change it, until we start supporting our own and spending our dollars and keep them rotating in our own community, we're going to keep getting what we're getting. You know what I mean? We got to employ our own. We got to, clean up our own community. We got to do it ourselves. So
Right.
Yeah.
And it's going to take effort. Got to roll up the sleeves and and do the job that needs to be done.
Right.
Now I'm going to say that I don't think we have like endorsed candidates. Like we've been out in the community to support. We've been however we can to support, but we have not endorsed whatever. We share information and all that good stuff, but I don't know if I mentioned live or not my thoughts regarding one particular candidate, and maybe it was just a conversation we had, but
Expound.
Yeah, so I don't know if I mentioned live, my thoughts on one specific candidate, and this is for the city council.
You sure you want to put that?
Yeah, for the city council. And so, but when we went to that forum, and there's 4 people sitting up there, right? 4 people sitting up there at that forum. One person above the rest.
So that's your person.
Did a wonderful job. That's all I'm going to say. Like there was no fluff. It was very knowledgeable. The questions were answered properly. They weren't insulting, just
condescending or
right. Or, I'm here because I am who I am, or whatever the case may be. Very thoughtful, very researched, very just excellent answers. And so that's kind of my expectation for people who are going above and beyond to serve and represent our community. Like, I would like to know that you have done your work, that you are actually serious about what you're doing, and it's not, just based on the fact of who you know and how long you've been here. Because all the time that you've been here, these issues have been here. So if you can't be effective from the sidelines, I'm not sure how effective you can be in the seat.
Yeah.
And those are my thoughts. Those are my thoughts.
And it goes back to
those are my candid thoughts.
There you go. Yeah. Not popular.
Right, but important.
There you go.
Oh, that's what we forgot. See, I told you it was rusty.
It's okay. We're getting back in the swing of things. But yeah. It's as simple as what you said. People running for office and playing politics instead of actually caring about the community. Like, you can tell the ones who actually care.
Yes.
You can, if you actually pay attention, you can tell the ones who actually care about making a change.
Right.
So if we make up the majority of the population in Columbus, there is no way things should be happening the way they happen. But we all know people are not getting out to vote. So these people are banking on that these people don't show up and vote.
You better believe it.
So
you better believe it.
Yeah.
Now, we've been through some neighborhoods. Some neighborhoods. And let me tell you what my pet peeve has been.
What has it been?
Putting them signs where the grass is just high as I don't know what.
Yeah.
Just the grass. I'm sorry, the grass is not mowed. It's unkept. but you putting a sign there. That speaks volumes to me. It speaks the wrong kind of volume to me. So so they're stepping out in these neighborhoods that they're not likely, normal to, and putting the signs in tall weeds and grass.
Yeah. And before we go any further, we want to send our condolences to Pops Barnes and his family. If y'all don't know, Pops Barnes passed away recently, so we want to send condolences out to his family. We know they're grieving at this time, grieving and going through it, right now. So again, condolences to the Barnes family. We want to keep them lifted and keep them in the forefront of our minds. So yeah. I never got a chance to actually meet Pops Barnes. I've always seen him around, but I think I maybe shook his hand once, but I didn't get a chance to actually talk to him. You know what I mean? But from what everybody said, he was a great person to know. He actually cared about the community.
Yes.
And he was willing to, lift up the next person.
Right.
To, coach them along. So, so yeah.
Yeah. Papa Smurf.
Right. Right.
So I think I met him when Toya Tucker was running for her first election, and
shout out to Toya Tucker.
Yeah, maybe he was being reelected as well, but they were kind of on the same circuit, and just that real just Papa Smurf, just vibe, and just sweet and just very empowering. So I always like to say that, people they never really leave us. They're always going to be with us in our minds and in our hearts. And so that's how I like to think about it, so a blessing and a privilege to encounter, a public servant as he was.
Right. Salute to Pops Barnes and his family.
Yes.
But yeah, so a lot going on. Election time.
Early voting has started.
Early voting. How about summer? School is almost out for these kids.
Yes, and they have this summer learning experience for those students who just want to go, and then those students who need to go, or they're not going on to the next grade. So, yeah. Listen,
do y'all remember when summer school, you had to pay for summer school?
Really?
Yeah, in Columbus you did.
I would not know anything about that because
summer school was not free.
Yeah, I didn't know anything about no summer school because my mama didn't play that at all.
My mama didn't either, but some of us slipped through the cracks. It shall remain nameless.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, summer school. Yeah, you was not going to summer school for free. I don't know. Listen, I don't know where they came up with this.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, and then there was year-round school. Certain schools was year-round. Like Brigham Road Elementary used to be year-round.
Really?
Them, and I think it was one more. But yeah, they were year-round schools. Yeah. We're a long way from there.
Goodness. Well, yeah. Well, when they're in the summer school, they're almost year-round. They get like a month off. They get July off.
So they go what, 4 weeks? Is it 4 weeks?
It used to be longer than that, I thought, though, and they just narrowed it down to the month of June.
So so let's say they got 3 Fs, right? Like, is there hope for them in summer school, or they?
Listen, I think if it's 2, there's hope. If it's 3, I don't think so. 3 or 4.
You gotta repeat.
Yeah, I don't think it's hope.
But I heard, correct me if I'm wrong, and y'all, put in the chat if y'all know.
Wrong. I'm a little rusty there.
So with child left behind, even if your child fails, you can still make them pass your child along. Can the parent do that?
Yeah, I think the parent can go to court, like some form of court mitigation. And, and so where they would win is if the teacher does not have documentation, where they have contacted the parent, where they have communicated issues and concerns. But as long as the teacher has documentations, teachers have documentations, with this, that, and the third, sometimes it's not okay. They're not going to pass through.
Okay. I mean, I feel like you're doing your child a disservice anyway if you just pass them along. They haven't learned anything. That's why we having this issue with the K through 2.
Put that effort throughout the school year. Yeah. Put that effort in making sure they do their homework and they come to class prepared with the things they need. Then you wouldn't have to be in this position. Yeah.
So I agree, but I disagree. So I agree with that. But the issue I have is, like they talked about in some of these council meetings, these parents working 2 or 3 jobs.
You're right.
So the kids raising themselves, they feeding themselves, doing whatever throughout the day when they get out of school, not focused on homework, definitely. You know what I mean? So, or obviously, so
they're a kid of a different generation because my mom worked two jobs, and that was one of the things I remember, just like missing her as a kid and just growing up, just missing her because it was, that morning shift or that night shift. So you were missing your parent. But by golly, I knew I couldn't go to school and not do my work or, not do my homework. I knew that. Like, she put the fear of God, whether she was there or not. Yeah. And I might have feared her more than God.
Yeah. Present,
yes,
present.
Yes. And so,
them lashes.
That is what's missing. And I don't know, like, maybe it started with our generation of, like parenting being so tough on us that we kind of just like, whew, let's not give it to them the same way. And now it's just out of control.
Yeah.
Bruh.
Right. Oh, man.
It's out of control. So I don't know.
Different breed. I'm telling you, I was talking to a guy today about the same thing. And he was like, he instilled all this stuff in his kids and they still they don't want to work. They don't want to do this. They don't want to do that. And he was like, he don't even know what to think.
I don't even know why I have to work.
Oh, man. Yeah. I think just society, the time that they were born in, groomed them to be this way. That's the only thing I can chalk it up to.
Yeah. Yeah.
So.
Yeah. So it's been interesting.
Right. To say the least.
Interesting.
Yeah. They live in their generation for a reason.
Yeah.
They couldn't have made it when we was, coming up.
And I think they say now I'm considered a millennial, but I'm closer to your generation because I'm on that borderline situation. But they say these babies will chuck the deuces quick at a job.
Right. That's why all these hiring signs off for these generations.
I don't have to put up with this. I'm not putting up with this.
Ain't gonna take it.
Chuck the deuces in a moment.
Now listen, what's the next generation gonna be like if they don't have to do? You know what I mean? That's when these robots gonna come in and take over everything.
Exactly. Yeah. That's why we have the, stuff going on at Walmart right now. Self-scan, self-checkout, all of that good stuff.
And listen, I'm guilty. I will head straight for the self-checkout every time. Yeah. I'm not going through the line.
It's more efficient for me to just, because you don't know who you're gonna get in the line, what kind of energy they have, if they're gonna take all day to ring your stuff up or, who knows. So I'm just going through there and going about my business.
Listen, I'm not even thinking about that part. I'm thinking about getting in and getting out. You know what I mean? That's why I try to go to self-checkout every time. You know what I mean? But we've been groomed slowly. It just dawned on me one day how they just groom you slowly, and before you know it, it becomes a habit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like I said, I just go straight to self-checkout now. I don't even try to deal with a cashier.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. In and out. And plus you can scan as you go. I love it.
Yeah, it's
scan as you go, scan when you get there, and keep it moving.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now what I don't like is when they try to hold me up at the door talking about they need to check my receipt. Well,
Yeah. Right. Yeah, you can't do both. Like you
watch me in here on your cameras. So, if you think I'm stealing or I'm taking stuff, then, get me then. But don't hold me up looking at my receipt and I'm having to do all the work in the first place. Yeah.
So, I think it's a price to pay for convenience. You know what I mean? It's a price to pay.
Definitely.
Yeah, it's convenient. Just like, having a cell phone is convenient versus back in the day where you didn't have it. What else? Cars that drive themselves.
I'm not ready for that yet.
I'm ready.
Yeah, I'm not ready for that yet.
Now, I won't fall asleep, but I'm not ready for that part. To fall asleep. What was the movie we watched where all the Teslas was crashing?
Oh my goodness.
We were just talking about that today.
Yeah, it was Julia Roberts and what's the African American?
What's his name?
Yeah.
Mahershala Ali. That's his name.
I didn't really like the movie. Has anybody seen that? I didn't really like it. It didn't make sense. But maybe they're trying to give us a sign.
Because they kept leading us on and then it was no conclusion. Like they just lead you
Yeah.
on the whole movie
And
that you
super
think.
exaggeration of things happening. It's just like, okay, planes crashing, just continuing to
Right,
crash.
right.
Hmm.
So I guess I don't know.
Yeah, it was weird. It was different. Hmm.
Yeah, the movie is not showing it. So, but if y'all know what movie we're talking about, put it in the chat if y'all know.
Yeah. And so we've met a lot of great people here in the past couple of months with everything that's going on with the election. I think you mentioned, and when you said empowered, that Pop Barnes empowered those around him,
Hmm.
I immediately thought about Miss Crab and how she, with her crocodile tears, was sitting at the council meeting saying how he empowered her as well.
Hmm.
However, I'm sure he did not empower her to condescend and demean our what do you
City workers.
yes,
Yeah.
yes. And so
And she probably wouldn't have done that if he was there. She
probably
wouldn't.
wouldn't have not even dreamed of it.
Yeah.
So I was in the audience when she made the comments she made, and I was just taken aback. I could not believe that she had the audacity to say it. And then on top of that, when she was addressed by the director of it's not transportation, it's the city
Yeah.
waste
Waste management or waste.
director,
Yeah.
which both said they had over 30 years experience
Hmm.
from, I think about that as a soldier, you start off as a private, you work your way up.
Yeah.
All of that is building and adding on experience. And when she was addressing it, Miss Thomas jumped on her. How dare you? Da 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 da. And I was just taken aback by that because it's like the fact that did you forget that you are here to serve the citizens?
Right.
You're here to serve the citizens.
Right. You're a public servant.
Yes, but they sat up there as if they were superior and as if they had the right to, speak to the director and speak to those workers in that manner. And I was terribly offended.
I'm glad you brought that up because I'm kind of on the fence
Mm-hmm.
about, you know, I hear you say and I hear other people say we need a seat at the table.
Mm-hmm.
I'm kind of on the fence about that
Yeah.
because I just feel like we need our own. Like we don't need to. I'm not a segregationist,
Mm-hmm.
but at the same time, I honestly feel that we need our own everything. We need our own police department. We need our own hospital. We need our own schools. We need our own everything.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, I'm not a segregationist. I don't think that we don't need to mingle with every ethnicity, every culture.
Mm-hmm.
We need that.
Mm-hmm.
But as it pertains to our community, I just feel like we need our own. Just like there's the Black Chamber of Commerce,
Yeah.
and then there's the Chamber of Commerce.
Mm-hmm.
We need our own everything,
Mm-hmm.
and I feel like that will help solve some of our problems.
Right.
But, so that's why I said I'm on the fence about having a seat at the table because, you can be invited to somebody's house for dinner. And they can put you out, or they can, they're
or
in control.
stop you at the door because you're not allowed in the house.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So yeah, so that's why I feel the way I feel. I'm still kind of
yeah. It's a slippery slope. It really is. It's a slippery slope. It's not many of us that's sitting at the table in the first place.
And then the ones that are bought.
What?
I feel like they are the ones that are at the table.
Ooh, that's tough. That's candid.
Okay.
Ooh.
Right. We're on the right platform. Okay. We're on the right platform. No, I'm just saying in general.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
You got those. Of course, not everybody that's in a place of power or a place of influence are not taking care of the community.
Right.
But I'm just speaking to the ones that are in a place to make change and speak for the community. They're not going to do it, or they're not doing it. They're just going to go along to get along, and they're going to sit quietly and.
Yes, like the school board lady. The last meeting I was at,
Mm-hmm.
all the people were chiming in about their district and, how their teachers are working hard and how they, would like to have money for their schools.
Mm-hmm.
Crickets. But the motion for the end the meeting, I motion or I whatever,
Yeah.
quickly. I
Yeah.
was like, wow, And so you definitely want to vote, and you definitely want to vote for people who are going to represent the interests of the greater good of our culture.
Yeah.
Okay. And I feel like, there was some things that were being said and brought to light that maybe people don't pay attention to. But we talked about this a little bit when we showed up for the Cure Violence meeting.
Yeah.
Those people that didn't look like us,
The
they
other
were
man.
there because they were paid to be there. They were on a salary or wages
Mm-hmm.
to be there. Were you being paid to be there?
Not at all.
I wasn't being paid to be there. There were other African American people who were not being paid to show up and figure out where are y'all at and what do you need and what's wrong with you?
Listen, you gotta ask those questions. You are out of touch.
Oh my goodness, right?
You gotta ask those questions. You just wait outside.
Yes, right.
You wait outside and let us talk about this.
Yes. So I think that's an important thing that we need to pay attention to. There are those of us who are serving in the trenches because it's our passion and because we care, but not because we're on a salary or we're getting paid. Okay.
Right. And things like poverty, crime, if it affects anybody, if it affects one person that looks like us, it affects everybody.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
It hurts.
We are no different. No matter where you live at, you're no different than somebody who's struggling, who's in poverty. You're no different.
Right.
Kanye said it best. And I ain't gonna. He said, I don't care if you're in a beings, you still a NIGG.
Correct.
So
correct. We all, consider the same.
They did not. This cop did not lean on George Floyd's neck because he was a Christian, because he was an atheist, because he was a Republican. He leaned on his neck because he looked like me and you.
Yes.
That's why he leaned on his neck. So that's what we got to keep in the forefront of our minds. At least I do.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So.
Okay. And the other thing is that, we're telling our people to get out and vote. And we have people that don't look like us that don't vote. So if you have not participated in your civic duties to vote as the other, but you're sitting in a political seat or a position, I am confused. I'm confused.
That's how it goes down.
I'm confused.
That's how it goes down.
So what that tells me, for us, our culture, I get sometimes why we don't vote because we don't see the change or we don't get what we feel like we need when we vote.
And we're looking at history.
Right. We wanted Stacey Abrams big time for governor of Georgia. Did we get that? No, we did not. We fought hard to get it and we didn't get it. But that is kind of our story for the history of this country. Like we put in our efforts and sometimes we just don't get exactly what we need. And so sometimes some of us give up. We don't participate. And I can get that. But on the other hand,
yeah.
I'm confused.
Yeah. I mean, hey.
And all of a sudden, you're a political person and you're sitting in a political seat.
Right. Right.
What's your motive? And
Right.
why are you there?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we got to pay attention to all of that. And when I see, I'm here to support so-and-so, and that's my friend, like that communicates a lot to me as well.
It does.
It communicates a lot to me.
It
Because
does.
when you would choose that over this, it's interesting.
Right. It is.
Mm-hmm.
And to add to that, when we're out voting, we need to make sure that we're informed because it's one thing to vote, but you got to be informed about who the candidates are, what they stand for, who's running for what district they're in, what does their district look like.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We didn't even speak on the trash, the trash all over the place.
But
certain,
Uptown is a disgrace.
yeah,
It's an eyesore, and it's this and that. And but this Uptown is Broadway and downtown, in the good life.
yeah.
But we're not worried about the rest of it, and that is so important to me.
And it's blatant too.
Yeah.
Like,
Are you driving through your communities? Do you know what they look like? No, you don't.
Right.
You have not a clue, and neither do you care. So how can you represent us? How can you talk about building economic development or contributing to it? And you can't build economic development in areas that are run down and not well kept.
Right.
And I think some of this is on the city. It may not even be individual people. It's on the city.
I think it's both.
Don't they have those these code enforcement people that's supposed to be driving around and making sure things are being taken care of and upkept?
I didn't think about that, but
yeah, in the city. So what are they doing?
Certain parts of the town they're not going to enforce because nobody's making any noise. Like, how many people are complaining about
that part,
trash and stuff? They're not complaining, so they just like, well, good, they're all right.
That part, that part. And I'm glad you said that because we have to speak up. We have to speak up. And there are areas where our children, they're walking from school, they're walking home. This environment speaks to them. And what is it saying? When there's trash all over the place, or the place is not upkept, or it looks run down, or whatever the case may be, what is it saying?
Right.
That we're the bottom of the barrel.
And that's why when I say
we got to go over here to get nice stuff or to see nice stuff.
Right.
It's not okay.
So when I say this is in their subconscious from when they're little, really little. This is what they're seeing, growing up, seeing this all the time. So
but it goes back to what your mom said. As a culture, we used to have pride. We used to dress. We used to carry ourselves. We used to care about it. If it was a little plot of anything, it was well taken care of. Today, grass is high. Grass is not being cut. Stuff is just looking a mess. And we're okay with it.
Well, it's unfortunate, but we can't get those good old days or those glory days back. But what we can do is start with our own home, our own family, our own yard, and then go out into our own community and branch, and branch out from there.
You're right. But we can't say we want the best or we want to do this. Like you said, you got to start at home first. You have to model, you have to, show what you expect or what you're trying to contribute to the community at home first. And it doesn't matter where you live, at home first.
Right. So yeah. So it starts there. Like, we talk about and we hear people saying that they want to get back to, it takes a village. They want to get back to that. But we can get back to it. Maybe, maybe not. But again, my mindset is start at home first.
Right.
And we fix our home and then we can reflect out into the community.
Right.
After we fix our own home. So.
And we have to speak up. We have to speak up. We don't have to know it all. We don't have to have all of the answers, but we just have to know how to find them. And that's what the Army was really big about. You don't have to know all the answers, but you need to know where to find them.
Right.
And that's what I'm about. I don't know all the answers. We don't know all the answers, but I know how to get in an email, a phone call, and call somebody and say, hey, well, tell me where I need to look because this is not okay.
Right. Right.
And if you're putting people in office or they're just getting in office, city council people, and then school board people, and then they have the audacity to be like they have a job and they have responsibilities outside of that position. You knew that before you asked for our vote. So don't get in the position and then, don't return phone calls, don't return emails, or you're active now because it's election season. Like
that part.
It communicates a lot. And even if you look like me, it communicates a lot that you're not really for, what you're supposed to be for. It's more of a status situation.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Okay. I feel like we got it in tonight. Yeah, we You know, we got a lot more to unpack. But,
Yeah.
we just getting warmed up. We just getting back into the swing of things. We just getting started. But again, you know, shout out to our day ones. We appreciate
we love you all very much.
Thank y'all so much for supporting us and tuning in and giving us your feedback.
Yeah, we want your feedback.
Yeah, we appreciate it.
And we can take constructive feedback. We want to, you know, grow and evolve. And you know, we send out events that's going on in the community. You know, if you have ideas on how we can make that better, let us know. If you'd like to be added to our email list, give us your emails, and also send us your flyers. Send us what you have going on in the community so that we can share it. Like, to me, it's such a, you know, it's so many people here in Columbus. So, you know, it's gonna be sometimes that we have events on the same day or during the same time. But if we could do better about our culture, making a community calendar so that we can get full effect support, that would be wonderful. That would be wonderful, as opposed to like we was running all over the place on Saturday, you know, trying to be at different places to support, because like Miss Trailer, for instance, I love her. And had I not shown up, or had we not shown up, like she would feel some kind of way. And it's not the intention, but sometimes it's just like you just stretch thin trying to make it to those different places. Y'all see how you been turning music on me? Okay.
So I'll put the music on.
That's like on Apollo, you know, they turn the music on, it's like, you know, it's time to go.
No. So I'll put it on because it's time to go, but I put it on, so that's a segue on our way out the door.
Okay.
But yeah, so again, you know, we appreciate everybody. Thank y'all for tuning in.
Yes.
We got a lot more to cover, and it was something else I wanted to add in there that I forgot. But the health tip, honeydew melon, cantaloupe, watermelon season is coming. It's not here quite yet. But this is the month though, to start at least.
Yes.
But yeah, honeydew melon, cantaloupe, drink plenty of water, at least try to exercise at least 15 minutes a day if you can, walk 5 minutes, 10 minutes. But yeah, so that's the health tip. Again, we appreciate y'all. We will be back Sunday, so y'all please tune in Sunday at
7:30.
7:30. Bam, there it is.
Yes.
So, you know, again, candid conversation, not popular,
but important.
So y'all have a good night.
Let's have a growth mindset.
Yeah, peace and love.
Let's grow. Let's upgrade. Let's not be comfortable. It's the church people who say, you know, God is this and God is that. Let's reflect that. Fearfully and wonderfully made in every aspect of who we are. Our homes, our cars, our yards, our communities. Speak up.
That's right. Peace and love. Tell a friend and tell a friend. Please like, share. We're on YouTube, Role Model Academy.
Yes, we're live on YouTube today.
Yeah, we made it. Tri-City Fatherhood Group. You want to tell them a little bit about RMA real quick?
Role Model Academy, all things modeling, acting, and personal development, and also pageantry. We are coaching students, young ladies, for pageants. So check us out on social media. Check us out on our website. And we have some exciting things coming up soon. Super excited.
A lot.
And it's overdue. COVID came in and kind of just like put us on the back burner.
Yeah.
But the fire is lit now.
That's right.
And we are super excited.
That's right. A lot of good
grateful.
Things coming.
Yes.
Okay. So yeah, peace. We'll see y'all next time. And yeah.
Yes.
Peace and love, y'all.